Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's EJ Marino and this is About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. And I am really excited for this episode because I'm talking about a franchise that I have such an interesting relationship with. Yes, I am talking about the new movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Black Panther. I'm going to be pretty brutally honest for this review, as I am for most of my reviews. This movie is painfully average. Like, I like a lot about this movie and I dislike even more about this movie. This is my typical problems with the MCU. So I'm going to jump off with my MCU issues that seep into Black Panther, and then I'll talk about some issues that Black Panther has on its own, and then talk about all the good that's in this movie, because there is some. So don't think I'm just going to be like bashing this movie just to bash it. There is some great things to talk about, and I will talk about them a little bit closer to the end of the video, but let me jump into my Marvel Cinematic Universe problems. So the first issue I have with this movie is that goddamn Marvel Cinematic Universe humor. The MCU is infamous for having a very serious, good, intense moment and then undercutting it with a joke. And that happens too often in this movie. I mean, there are some beautifully serious scenes, and then we have like a bad CGI rhino looking someone's face, or like someone laughing off after we have like a good heart-to-heart moment. Come on guys, like, this is a problem I've had with, actually probably since the first Iron Man movie. These movies do not need kind of lame humor that you're including. Seriously, when we have a good action or a good heartfelt moment, do not ruin it with a joke, and like, Black Panther is better than this. As a character and as a film, this movie was above that, and it kind of comes right back to it, and I do not like that. The other Marvel Cinematic Universe problem that falls into this movie is some of the worst green screen and lighting I have ever seen in a big movie like this. Like, I thought the, what was it, Captain America Civil War? The airport fight scene has some really bad green screen and some really bad lighting that it just looks flat and even. So kind of just talk about lighting. When you light for a green screen like I have back here, you want yourself to be a good flat lighting. Same thing with your green screen. Okay, fine. But that doesn't really play into a part when we're having this beautiful fight outside in this African country and all the lighting is just one even light. Like, is there not a cloud in the sky? Is the sunset not giving like an orange cast to their face? Nothing? Just a nice even flat light? Come on guys, like, it really takes me out of these movies when these like technical issues are this apparent and this bad. Like, there's a movie last year called Justice League that got so much flack for like the horribly CGI'd villain. This movie has a horribly CGI'd villain as well. Like, as soon as they got into the Black Panther costumes within the third act and have their little fight scene with each other, it looks like a PlayStation 2 video game. Like, I was so distracted with like how bad and how cheap it looked. So the term I used to describe the bad CG in this is it could have used another render. Nothing was kind of like badly made, but it just looked like it wasn't finished. Like, the first time you saw one of the rhinos in this movie, look, I'm glad they're not using real animals for these movies. Good job for that, but also, boy, do they look so fake and so bad. And like, these are the things, like, if they would have just left it in process one more time, spend that extra million, Marvel, you're gonna make it back at this amazing box office. Spend it to make your movies look better, because they don't look good. Like, we're almost digressing. Like, I thought the first Avengers movie looked so bad, and we started getting great. Like, the Doctor Strange CGI looks amazing, and then we go up to this movie, like, Black Panther, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, these scenes look so bad and so generic and so, like, bland. I think that's what it is after going from some of the DCEU movies or some of the Fox Marvel movies, they have good, interesting lighting that kind of adds a character to this movie. This is just like, here we go, flat lighting, have fun. With this being the 18th, yes, the 18th movie in this franchise, maybe we would have a villain that I actually liked and I felt was fully fleshed out. Nope, Eric Killmonger is honestly just kind of like the rest. He has this like weak family attachment that makes him do this. Like, Michael B. Jordan's performance of Killmonger is amazing. Michael B. Jordan is great. You could tell him and Ryan Coogler, the director, have a great relationship and a great connection as actor and director. But his character is just so weak and so flat. Like, everyone's like, well, he's one of the most sympathetic villains we've had. What? Like, To me, Loki is one of the only sympathetic villains that they've had. This one, like, I understood why he's here and fighting in Wakanda, but all his, like, sympathy was delivered from other people. Well, here's his backstory. Well, here's this. He didn't give me a reason to be sympathetic. Everyone else tried, but the character Eric Killmonger never gave me a moment of being like, yes, I feel you. Yes, you fight T'Challa. I was just like, why are you here? Like, everyone else was like, you're gonna let this outsider in? And I'm like, yeah, you're just gonna let this outsider in? Like, he has this weak connection to the throne. I was so disappointed with this villain because I like Michael B. Jordan a lot. Hell, Andy Serkis as like the B-grade villain in this was giving me more of what I wanted. He was in his own movie. Like, Andy Serkis, who's known as playing Gollum, he played Snoke in The Last Jedi, he's been in King Kong. Like, Serkis is a great actor that we usually see in motion capture. Boy, was it great to see him as an actor in this, and I liked his role more than I liked Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger role. Like, I was just so confused of what this villain was doing, what he was adding to the franchise, and why I should like him or hate him. They just gave me no feelings towards him. I was just like, well, you're gonna die at the end of this. Like, that's just kind of how it is. And oh, look, he's dead. Like, no surprise. These just movies, they just kind of keep doing the same template with these origin stories with a lot of their movies. Like, just generic cookie cutter movies. As awesome as this movie is for representation, it fails on a basic film levels. What Black Panther does really well is present some of the most amazing female characters I have ever seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have honestly seen Black Widow carry these movies, like through the most trite, horrid performances. She's been there carrying these boring male characters through some awesomely horrible movies, and I'm really happy that I have more now. My favorite being Danai Gurira's general character. She was owning everything. I mean, the second she took off her wig and threw it at somebody, I was just like, I have my favorite character. I knew who I'm looking forward to every scene. Like, she was such a great performance and really carried this movie well. She did great scenes with Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. She did amazing scenes with Lupita Nyong'o. I just loved seeing her in this role, and I'm glad that like we got to see her without the dreads in Walking Dead. Just I got to see her beautiful face kick ass, and honestly, she's gonna be the one I look forward to if I decide to see Infinity War. She will be the one that I just keep hoping gets more scenes. Like, when her and Black Widow meet, I might just explode of badass female characters. The other badass woman in this movie is Letitia Wright. I know I'm saying your name wrong, I'm so sorry, but she played Shuri, who was Black Panther's sister. What a badass, intelligent woman she is. She's going to give Tony Stark a run for her money with her knowledge of tech and her knowledge of science. Like, I am looking forward to her in these movies more. The combination of all these women really show that Black Panther was there to show you representation, not just for the black community, but for black women. Like, I am so happy to see all this beautiful black girl magic because I was hoping that they would not just kind of throw these women to girlfriends or mother roles. Like, as they were a mother and a girlfriend, they were way more than that. They were there to give Black Panther advice and like just fight alongside him, and I loved seeing that. Now we're here to talk about what everyone's here for, and that's Black Panther himself. Chadwick Boseman is a hell of an actor. He is great as the role of T'Challa, Black Panther. Like, I like him a lot. He just kind of got lost in the shuffle of this movie sometimes. Like, with as much as like he is the main character and as much as we didn't get to see enough of Eric Killmonger to give him more attention, I felt like I didn't learn anything new about his character. I felt like I was just there kind of along for the ride. Like, I was just like, well, you're cool. Like, I'm glad you're king now. You're doing amazing. That's about it. Like, his fight scenes were okay. Like, he had the ceremonial fight scene where he got to be crowned king the first time, and that was awesome. That's where I got to see his raw aggression, his real power there, and I was like, yes. And then he just, I don't know, I really didn't get to fall in love with T'Challa as much as I loved him in Civil War. Like, as much as I hated Civil War as a movie, his, like, when he's talking to Hawkeye and he's like, I don't care, I was there for him. When he's trying to fight Bucky, I was there for him. And this movie, he's just there, and I'm glad he's there. Chadwick Boseman is a hell of an actor. I'm so glad he's getting the chance to star in his own movie like this. I just want to see more from him next time. He'll be in Infinity War. They definitely let you know that. I hope you get a better role there because I I just kind of liked you in your own movie where I should have loved you. If it wasn't for that third act, I would have really loved this movie. Ryan Coogler is a great director. Fruitvale Station is an amazing, powerful film, and I love Creed, but I don't think superhero movies are exactly his thing. Like, you could tell when this became a superhero movie, it lost me. Like, those fight scenes, a lot of that wasn't his thing, but when it was in a beautiful drama between family and trying to find your place in the throne, I liked that. The story was good, the acting was great. The rest of the movie around it, sometimes it just lost me. Like, all of the action and the fight scenes just felt like it had no weight to it. Like, with all the great fight scenes in Creed, and you felt the boxing match there, when you get to a fight scene here, I was just kind of so, like, glossed over, and I was just like, whatever. Like, I'm just so upset that, like, I don't think this is his kind of movie. And as much as I'm happy a black man is directing a massive movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I just wish he was a little bit more like suited for this job, or a little bit more, maybe if this wasn't his first adventure into these massive CGI worlds, I would have probably enjoyed it more, but I just don't think this was his kind of movie. I want to see him go back to more grounded, real movies, because when he does a movie like Creed, I love it. Like, I want to see Ryan Coogler go back to movies like that, because a movie like this, yes, maybe if it wasn't in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he had a chance to write, for a franchise that is a little bit known for their stories more than their action scenes, I would have loved it more. Because the story is great, his action scenes are not. Like, he was just not a right match for the MCU, I think. So there is my review of Black Panther. To me, this movie is painfully average. Like, where this movie excels in representation, it starts failing on that basic film level, with some really bad visuals and a really bad villain. Like, once again, and we kind of just rush that third act. It keeps me from thinking it's a great movie, and it's just a good movie. This is fine, it's gonna do well. Now, should you see this movie? If you're a fan of the MCU, you've hated this review, and you've already seen this movie, already have your tickets to see it. Like, I understand that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has that fan base who will go see anything they put out. Go see it. You'll love it. Now, if you're on the fence about this, or you don't usually like the MCU movies, this is nothing different from them. It just has a different superhero. So now remember that. Now, do I think you should see it? I think, personally, I would have waited to like DVD to see this. This is nothing I would have rushed out and seen, but I did enjoy it enough to say, honestly, go check out Black Panther. Give this movie some like more money, because this is a very interesting part, and I try not to talk about representation so much, but if this movie doesn't make a lot of money, we might not get a black director, we might not get a black superhero like this on this level again. So I say go support it, because do it for the culture, but just know that this movie is honestly painfully average.